I love Xbox Game Pass. It's so good. Roll the intro.
Not apologetic news.
Xbox Game Pass is a streaming gaming service. So it's similar to PlayStation Now, PlayStation Plus. The only thing that differs from PlayStation to the Xbox is that Xbox is putting up a shocking number of day one releases included for no extra cost. You think, why would they do this given a new game costs, anywhere from $50 to $70 now with the newest generation? Because Xbox has always been like 2 steps behind PlayStation. PlayStations have always outsold Xbox, so Xbox is always trying to find ways to take more of the market share from PlayStation. Why are they taking this chance and putting all this up? They're mimicking PlayStation. With the newest generation consoles, we have PS5 and PS5 Digital. Those are the exact same console though. One has a disk drive, obviously, but internally, they run exactly the same. Right. You get the same performance. Well, what they're doing now is they had heard that PlayStation was going to have a cheaper offering with the digital version. So they rushed out the Xbox Series S to come out with the X. Now, there's a bunch of differences between the X and S, though. Like the S, it can't even run at 4K. It can only run at 1440p. It's got 6 gigs of RAM less than the Series X has, and they're both using AMD graphics, but the S has half the computing units of the X. It's an inferior console, and people who know a lot more than me are saying that in a few years, you may not even be able to play brand new games on the Series S. Because it is last generation's technology that they put into that. That's going to be a lot of mad Xbox users if the new Doom superficial Barbie comes out, and then they're not even able to jam out on it on their Series S. Now, is the Series S digital only?
I think so.
What's made PlayStation always great, though, throughout these years, and what's really kept them ahead, not only that they were first to market, but it's the exclusives. Now, I know some of these have made it onto like the PC/Game Pass, but you got to think PlayStation has what? You got Ghost of Tsushima, you got God of War, Last of Us, Uncharted, Horizon. Even back in the day, I remember jamming out on some Shadow of the Colossus or like playing Ratchet and Clank, and those were only on PlayStation. And like not even mention VR. You can right now play VR on PlayStation, and they have a new version coming out. That does not happen with Xbox. Yeah. I don't think they've ever had a virtual reality unit for their stuff.
They had like a Kinect, do shit with the camera or whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, those were all gimmickies trying to, once again, take from another console. PlayStation did the same thing, trying to take some market share away from Nintendo when they had the Wii, and everybody thought they were so cool. I'm going to work out now that I have a video game. But yeah, 10 years later, they're still fat.
Right.
I know that you dabble in the black arts of the box of X from time to time. Now, what are your experiences? You are a current Game Pass subscriber.
I mean, I enjoy it. I don't even have an Xbox anymore, but I still have the Game Pass. I can run it off my tablet, stream it to the TV or whatnot, or play on the tablet. I got a controller for it. Actually talked about this brand before, the 8-bit Duo.
Yeah, I have their little wireless connector thing.
Yeah, I got a controller that's mapped out like an Xbox controller. Even the button that you turn it on it's an Xbox controller. Now,
here's why I think this is really going to hurt Xbox in the industry, period. So if you buy a new game on PlayStation, you might pay up to $70, but you know that someone's put millions and millions of dollars into that game. You know it's going to be fantastic, especially if it's a PlayStation exclusive. But with Xbox, I'm sure that Xbox Microsoft is paying these game studios a probably pretty big fee to be a day one release because no one's going to buy it on Xbox,
Right.
But that cannot compare to the amount you would get from 100,000 plus people buying it at $70. So I think in a short time, as little as about 2 years or so, game developers are not going to put in all that time and effort just to go to Game Pass and not make all that money from Xbox. So what I think I can pretty well tell you is going to happen is the Xbox day ones are all going to be your rinse and repeat games. So it's going to be like the Assassin's Creed formula, or like a sports games formula, or GTA, where you can basically put a different skin on the same game, right, change the objective or whatnot, and you have a whole new game. But why would a game developer, maybe once they're like, okay, we're going to do this once because we have a little deal with Microsoft, but why would top game developers spend years on a game for it to be released for free, especially if Xbox, since they're buying up studios, if it's an Xbox exclusive? because that's what Xbox is trying to do now. PlayStation's fighting back though. And it's like the America attitude to like the rest of the world. It's like PlayStation's like, yeah, we're going to have exclusives, but you're not. And they're fighting them in court saying it's an unfair business practice that PlayStation has been doing for years. But as far as I'm concerned, PlayStation makes the rules here. Well, I know Xbox people are loyal.
They are. Actually, there's a dude I work with. Several of us there at work, they've all gotten down on Elden Ring. One dude, he bought it for the PlayStation, and then a couple of his buddies who have Xbox bought it, and he wanted to play it then, so he turned around and bought it again for the Xbox so he could play with them.
That would be a mutual beneficial thing for both companies if there was crossplay.
And some games do that. I know a lot of the Call of Duties, so I could be on PlayStation, be playing against someone on PC or Xbox. They have the crossplay for consoles.
See, my hatred for Xbox went back to when I was a kid. When they first came out and they had those big, bulky controllers. And I was looking at it wasn't even the Dual Shock then, the Single Shock, whatever they called it. And I'm like, why would I ever touch this? So I remember my parents had gotten a like secondhand Xbox at like a flea market or a yard sale. I don't think I ever turned it on. It's an original Xbox. I actually still have it in my box of forgotten consoles. I got PS2, PS3, PS4, GameCube, Super Nintendo. But then again, none of that really matters because we can emulate everything. So, I mean, it's and the PS5 is about to get cracked too, but PlayStation did a smart thing where they're putting out that bounty to where if you're a hacker, instead of releasing it online for the world, they'll pay you up towards like $20,000 to say a vulnerability. So one hacker found a vulnerability, which was something to do with the PS2 emulator on the PS5. And then he went to go get his money, and PlayStation's like, look, the only way we could patch this out is to change all of the PS2 softwares individually. We're not going to do that, so we're not going to pay you any money. So he went right online and was like, guys, I think we're about there now. So they figured it out to where if you have a burnt PS2 disc and put it in the PS5, you can hack it. But they're trying to dumb that down to a kernel that they can put onto a USB drive, and boom. But I've always been a fan of not hacking your primary console. Yeah. So I'd have to have a second one as well. But yeah, I think the moral of the story today is just that Xbox sucks. And Game Pass is going to be bad news for you soon. And before you Xbox booty boys come after me, remember one thing with my triangle, circle, X square, it's biological warfare. Bitch. We'll see you later.
Non-apologetic news. Non-apologetic news.